It is.
Hey, hey, hey. It's
Whoop, whoop.
Water Cooler Wednesday.
Water cooler.
All right, all right. It's another Wednesday. Water Cooler
Wonderful Wednesday.
Wednesday. So,
Yes. A
it's
water
me.
cooler Wednesday.
Water
With
cooler.
Right.
Christian
Wonderful water cooler Wednesday.
Wednesday. All of those. A
All
water
right.
Wednesday.
I'm over here playing with my sound, but it's me, Deanne Branch, with EXP Realty, and I got my co-host Lisa White. Who has another
You got
day.
it right. House money, mama.
Hey. And today we have a special what we everybody always wants to know about how to repair my credit.
Yep.
Right? It all starts there. So we have Maurice Holmes with us from the Credit
Credit
Restore
Restore.
Station. So Maurice, thank you.
Thank you for having me again. Welcome back. Always great to be on the wonderful water cooler Wednesday. So I appreciate you all for having me back.
Yeah,
So
you knew
we
we was gonna
are
have to bring you
excited.
back again, Maurice.
Hey,
Right.
it's an honor.
Right. We're definitely excited to have you here so we could get us some tips and tricks about our credit and what all the things that we need to know, right?
Yes, indeed.
So, Morris, what you gonna share with us today? What we gonna talk about?
Okay, well, it's many things that you can accomplish when you got good credit. So let's talk about what people can do on their own to fix their credit.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people out here professing to be credit repair folk, and you give them your money and they go ghost on you. You calling, they not responding. They either you paying them a monthly fee and they stringing you along for about a year so they can make a lot of money off you. But there's a lot of stuff that we can do ourselves.
We're not talking about Brexington law, are we?
Oh,
Right. We can't be talking the same
don't you say
name.
that word on here.
I said Brexington. I said Brexington.
Okay.
Right.
You got my
Don't
heart back,
get me in
Taylor.
trouble. But yes, but one of the things that we do want to talk about is that too, though. A lot of people, they'll contact me and they'll say that, oh, I'm already in a credit, repair program, and I'm like, oh, okay. So one of my first things I ask them is how long you been in that program,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Lay it
I
on
know
us.
we have a lot of people. They were like, well, I've been in it for about 6 months, but nothing's changed.
Right.
Mm.
Mm.
And that right there. That's a sign. Like you should really. I mean, how long before you see
Uh-oh.
if they just taking my money?
Okay, so you froze just a little bit, so I want to make sure everybody heard the question. Hopefully, I won't freeze. But you're asking how long should you wait? How long should it take to reasonably see results from a credit restoration program?
Yeah.
Right.
So I believe that everyone's situation is different. I've seen clients get fixed within 30 days, and there have been clients that took about 6 months. It all depends on the type of accounts that they have. But I will also say I've taken different certifications in credit repair, and I'm going to be candid and transparent. They teach us to hold on to a client as long as you can with the month-to-month process. So that goes with disputing one item per month. Because if they fix
Yeah.
your credit in 30 days and they charge you a monthly fee, they ain't going to make no money.
They ain't gonna make
So
no money.
I taught that, and that process never set right with me, because I figured the quicker you get a client turned around, man, that speaks volumes, and the quicker they're going to run to tell somebody, and the quicker more people are going to be back to see you.
Right.
So
they're more willing to refer somebody to you. So
yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So that process can take, I would say, up to 6 months reasonably, but on average, you can see a quick turnaround with a qualified credit repair person within 2 to 3 months. Within 30 days, you should see some very visible, drastic changes to show you that you're heading in the right direction within those first 30 days. The techniques and processes we use, a majority of the client's accounts are removed within that first 30-day process. Depending on the type of accounts they have, collections are always the easiest. Charge-offs, they may take two rounds, sometimes 3, but most of those accounts will come off. But as we were saying, a lot of this stuff is you can do yourself. Now, qualified credit repair companies do have some unique techniques to get things off. But when I started, I'll give my quick testimony. I'm not just the credit restore station president, but I'm also a client.
No, you didn't go that far back and just completely date not only yourself, but you really just dated us on this line too. You know that, right? Because we know what you're talking about.
Yes, sure do. But I had 27 collections on my credit when I started. I had nothing open. I had nothing open and nothing positive reporting on my credit. And out of those 27 collections, I only paid and settled for 7 of them. And let me not forget the three public records I had on there as well. I was in a rough spot. And I still have those credit reports to prove when people say my credit is bad. I'm like, I haven't seen a person that had credit that was worse than mine.
Wow.
Yet to this day. And within a year and a half, almost 2 years, I had all that stuff resolved, and I was closed on my home within that year and a half, almost 2 years. So I did the repair process as well as purchased a home in that time. So if I could come from underneath that, I'm pretty certain your situation isn't as bad as mine, and you can come from underneath what your credit situation is as well. And it won't cost you a lot of money to do it. If you do it yourself, it's not going to cost you anything because the resources are right there online. I did everything through online disputes. I'm not an advocate of online disputes today. I like the snail mail. The snail mail is one of the best processes, but a lot of people don't like to type up letters. They don't want to mail it out themselves. They don't want to do that themselves. So if you don't want to go that route, then go online, because you still can get tons of results online as well. So, and
that's just online to sites where you could do it yourself, not to hire somebody.
Yes, you definitely want to take a look and see if this is something you can handle yourself. There's resources out there. I guess the first step would be knowing what's on your credit. You got to know what's on your credit. You don't ever look at it. You ain't gonna know what's on it. So there's sites like Credit Check Total. That's one that I always use when I sign up a client with me. I need to review their credit situation. And with Credit Check Total, they'll charge you $1 for like a 14-day trial, but they're going to give you all 3 reports and all 3 FICO scores. And FICO scores is what they need, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
Right, Dion? Because that's what the lenders, when they try to purchase a home, want to see is what their FICO scores are. So if they go to Credit Check Total, they send me that login information. I review their credit, and then I switch their Credit Check Total account to a free basic version, which when you switch it to the free basic version, it's owned by Experian. So now you just go to Experian.com and use that same login. So Credit Check Total and Experian.com are the same company. Credit Check Total was bought out by Experian. So when you log into Credit Check Total, you're going to see the Experian website pop up. But while we're talking about Experian and Credit Check Total, those are the places you can go to review your credit, to see what type of scars and scratches you have on there. And never pay for it. Never pay for your credit reports with Experian. Here's a quick tip. All you have to do every 30 days after you've created your account, upgrade. Do the upgrade. They're going to give you all 3 reports, all 3 fresh scores from that date. And after you review them, cancel it, switch it back to free basic. In 30 days, they're going to give you an option for another free upgrade. I've been doing this for about 7 years, and I never paid for my credit reports. So that's a free tip on how to, so there's no excuse about not knowing what's on your credit, right? Ain't got no excuse, right?
Okay.
So yeah, after you've reviewed using those resources, what's on your credit, you can only dispute online through Experian from creditchecktotal.experian.com. You can't dispute your TransUnion accounts or your Equifax accounts. You will have to go directly through TransUnion to do that, or through Equifax to do that. Now, some people use Credit Karma. Credit Karma really recently connected with TransUnion, and they allow you to do some TransUnion disputes online. People get results from that. My advice would be go directly through dispute.transunion.com. I should have gave you that link, Dion. Dispute.transunion.com, and you can do an online dispute. And that's another way to get your free TransUnion credit report every 30 days. Just act like you're doing a dispute, even if you're not. They'll give you a free report. So, yeah, you go on. They'll give you access to your reports. You identify those collections. And my approach for collections. So this collection, you got, let's say, Little Reese Collection Agency. I'm just make something up. Little Reese's Collection Agency that posted on your credit saying you owe them $600 for a medical bill. Well, technically, you don't owe Little Reese's Collection Agency anything because you've never conducted business with Little Reese's Collection Agency. So when you dispute this account, dispute it under the grounds of no knowledge of account, because you've never conducted business with them. Always dispute under those grounds. And all that's going to do is force the credit bureaus to challenge the account. And if this collection agency has done their due diligence, which most of them don't, they're going to be able to provide documentation holding you accountable to this account. But they don't. They never do. And that's why disputes are in huge favor of the clients, of us, so do those online disputes.
So
I encourage you to challenge.
So I've heard that if someone is calling you from a collection, that you shouldn't acknowledge that collection, right? So don't. So if they call you on the phone, you say no, thank you, hang up, right?
Yes, and go and dispute that thing. You definitely. They're going to. Sometimes they try to be slick. They'll call you like, "Hey, Lisa." And you're like, "Hey, how are you? Who is this?" You already acknowledged that your name is Lisa. They call you acting like they know you. And then once you've acknowledged that that's who you are, then, I'm from Little Reese's Collection Agency, and this is an attempt to collect a debt. So it's slick. And you don't want, because they're recording you and they're going to use that information against you to try to hold you accountable to that account, because they really don't have no weight to hold you accountable to that account. They don't have anything bearing your signature or anything like that. So yes, that's true. When I do disputes for clients, I don't include their phone numbers. I don't include their email addresses. I force those credit bureaus and collection agencies to have to contact the client by mail. Okay. So snail mail works in the favor, because they know they got a 30-day window to complete that investigation from the day the credit bureaus get it. So that's why certified mail is also a good thing if you're going to mail your disputes. But I would encourage people to go ahead and do that online process. I got amazing results from it. And you want to do that to get off as many accounts as you can on your own before you're in a position where you have to pay somebody. If you got 20 accounts and you were able to get 15 of them deleted yourself, and these last 5 are giving you a headache, and they're large limit accounts that's too much to pay, then at that point you could probably connect with an official reputable credit repair person, and you won't have to come out of as much as you probably would have with those 20 accounts. So I would say just get up and do something for yourself, because it's not as much work and it's not as hard as people think. And, I think that's the problem where people get scared to do it themselves because they think it's so much work, and it's not. It's simple. And we have the answers to all our questions right in front of us or right in our hand. You can Google any question that you have in YouTube and get all the answers you need to just about anything.
Right. That's good.
Okay. So would you say that a lot of times the reason why the people are in the situation that they're in is because a lot of people aren't educated on credit repair, just understanding credit and what my credit is?
That's huge, Dion. That's so huge, and you're absolutely right. I even thought about my own situation when I first turned 18. I got a credit card. My mom encouraged me. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching. She told me to get a credit card, and she helped me max that thing out. And never made one payment on it. It's just like, use it. We think we get this credit card. It's so easy to swipe everywhere. Just swiping that thing, and before you know it, you have a balance. And what do we think we should do? Let me pay this minimum due. And we think we're okay. It's just a lack of knowledge and understanding and education. We think we're okay by paying that minimum due when we're putting ourselves in a trap. Because before we know it, that balance was $500, the limit's $500. We pay the minimum due. Next month, we owe $510. Like, how do I owe $510? The interest alone, it's like that $30 payment is really like paying $7, on that.
Not to mention the fact that it actually tanks your credit, because the utilization ratio is one of the biggest things that factor into, well, not the biggest, but it is definitely
like you said,
into how they calculate your score.
I believe it's 35% of your score. That utilization plays a part, and credit card balances, they hurt your credit a lot. Lack of education, but I think also, Dion, it's generational. I know my mom wasn't taught about credit, and my mom's mom wasn't taught about credit. We didn't understand it, and it seemed like it was hard to understand. And I always was taught that water flows to the area of least resistance. And that's what we tend to do. We tend to go with what's easy. It's easy to just forget about it and not try to figure it out and just do what I can. Hey, if I can't do it, let me get a cosigner. Mess their credit up too.
Right. I know everybody's always like, "Oh, should I get a cosign?" I'm like, I don't know if they want a cosign.
On the hand, I'm like,
I'm trying to save the other person. That's me. I'll be like, well, I don't know if they want to cosign.
Right.
Don't do it. Run.
Trying to say you jack up there.
Yeah, so easy. It's so easy to commit to doing the right thing when you're in front of the situation. But none of us know what life holds. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And it's just like in life, things that you work for, you tend to take care of. When you didn't have to work for it, you don't tend to take care for it as much because you didn't have to sweat to get it.
That's true.
So what's some tips that we could say as far as to keep our credit in good standing? Like, is there anything that we should know?
Well, let's say once you've gotten rid of all the negative accounts and you've got some open credit, one of the biggest things you want to do is never miss a payment. Never miss a payment. That late payment will be brutal to your credit. You're talking about 70 points for one late payment. 70-point drop, and that's brutal. So never missing a payment on your credit cards. I always encourage my clients to utilize their credit card, pay it off, especially if they're in the rebuilding process. Pay it off, let it sit for about 3 months, use it again just so it won't become dormant. Pay it off, let it sit for a couple more months, because even with a zero balance, that creditor is still going to report monthly as if you're using this card. The only thing paying it off and letting it sit doesn't do, it won't help you when you're trying to get a limit increase because you're not using the card that much. So why should I increase if you're not using it? But when you're trying to rebuild, that's not important right now. It's all about just building that credit, getting you some good credit history So some tips, like I said, never missing a payment. That's probably one of the biggest one.
Yeah.
Don't let everybody run your credit. You know, don't let everybody run your credit. Some people, when they get to a 630, they feel like they've arrived. Like, oh man, big credit king around here. You know, and they just go to applying it everywhere. You know, and it's like you don't need this stuff. And one of the biggest okie dokes people fall for is the retail. Save 20% off your purchase.
Right.
Run.
Right. No. Right. Don't do it. And they get upset when you tell them no. Like, I'm gonna let them know. You don't want the 20% off? No, I don't. Because I want my credit. I'm like, no, I want my credit to be good. So no, I don't want that.
Right. Yeah. But you're right, Dion. They are very high pressure. Very high pressure.
But you know what? I worked at Value City Department Store for 8 years, and they used to put that pressure on them. Like, you have to have so many credit card applications today. We don't care if you're going to get approved or not. We just want you to apply, because I believe they get some sort of kickback from the amount of applications that are submitted. Yeah. So that's where that pressure comes from. And it has to be that because they push very hard. Even if you know you're not going to get approved, well, you should just try. You never know. Like, no, I know.
Right, I know. They're right. They're like, you never know. You could get it, and then you could get the 20% off. I'm like, no, thank you.
No.
Okay. So here's something else too that I've heard from people. People don't seem to understand the difference between a lender pool and you looking at your credit yourself. So, like, for example, I had somebody who was talking to me the other day, and it was like, oh, well, you know, they just did a soft inquiry into my credit, and you know, it's not really a lender pool. I said that's a lie, because anytime a lender looks at your credit, it's a lender pool. So you need to know and understand that it's going to come up as an inquiry on your credit, and it does have an impact on your score. You know, people need to know that. Some people don't have the same level of integrity that we do. Yeah. So they're not honest. You know, they don't honestly tell you. Sometimes that's one of the issues that I have when talking with people. I'm honest to a fault. I'm not going to lead you in a direction that's not the right way to go. You know, you may not like the way that it sounds, but if this is really what it is, then that's what I'm going to tell you, because this is really what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, people need to understand, you know, anytime a lender looks at your credit, that's a lender pool, and it can have a negative impact on your score, just as far as bringing it down and being an inquiry.
Yep. On the flip side to that, you can pull your credit 100 times from actual credit sites, and those are soft pulls. Because people be like, the lender already pulled my credit. Can you get their report and look at it as opposed to pulling my credit again? Because I don't want to. I'm like, you're not going to get it.
Right. It's not an inquiry.
So,
right. I don't even know if it'd be considered a soft pull, but I mean, because it's not even an inquiry.
Yeah, it's not.
You can't do an inquiry into your own credit. Like,
exactly.
It's just you getting your credit report. So,
So that's what we talked about earlier. In case you just joining us, you have the credit check total, where you can go and check your credit for, what does it say, Maurice, for $1?
$1 for a 14-day trial, and just cancel as soon as you're done looking at it that same day.
Yep.
And you can cancel right away.
Print it off?
You can print it off. You can save it as a PDF. But here's the other thing. Once you create that credit check total account and you switch it to a free, because all canceling it is doing is switching it to the free basic Experian account. So that 3-bureau report is always going to be in there when you check the dates for past accounts. So if you don't really need to even print it unless you need to take it somewhere to show somebody, but save it as a PDF as well, but it's there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Anybody have any questions you want to ask us? We have Maurice online. He can answer any questions you may have as far as your credit. Just type it in the text. Type it in your questions.
Yeah, I haven't seen any questions come through yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people should. I know I hear a lot of people talk about Credit Karma. So let's touch that real quick. People say, Credit Karma way off, Credit Karma way off, Credit Karma not accurate. And I counter sometimes, but then sometimes I don't want to get in an argument with nobody, so I just mind my business. But Credit Karma is actually accurate. When when people, a lot of people refer to the scores as not being accurate. Those scores are actually accurate. You can pull your credit from 5 different consumer score sites, and all of them are going to be different, because they're consumer scores. They're going to be close to each other, but different. But the thing about Credit Karma is they use a system that a lot of lenders aren't really using, and that's the Vantage system. They use the Vantage scoring system. So if they went to a lender that pulls your credit and uses Vantage scoring, your scores are going to look more similar to Credit Karma scores versus Experian scores, because Experian uses FICO score. So it's not that Credit Karma is inaccurate. They just use a different scoring module that a lot of people aren't using as much anymore. Right. And as far as accounts go, they're very accurate in reporting what accounts is on your credit. So I would encourage everybody to get Credit Karma on their phone, sign in, create the PIN number, and then close it off, because you'll get alerts and notifications of any changes to your credit, and you need to know what's happening to your credit.
Okay. Well, so what if a person has something inaccurate on their account? So their name is a common name, and they've disputed it. What do they do in order to get it to, just stop coming back? So they've disputed it, it went away, and then it's come back again.
As far as a discrepancy with the name or an actual account?
Well, the account isn't theirs.
Also, if it's an account that pops up and they know for sure this account isn't theirs, then in that case, they will either need to go to the FTC website and create an identity theft affidavit to send to the credit bureaus, or they can go to the police department and get a police report, and that police report will list that account. They're going to ask you what accounts, you list that account, and then you can mail that in to the credit bureaus, or you can call the creditor directly. If you know for sure that this creditor, you've never had an account with this creditor, call them. They're going to send you an affidavit of their own for you to fill out. You may have to get it notarized and send back to them, and they'll have that account removed. So those are 3 different steps you can take. The police report definitely helps big time. You send that directly back into the credit bureaus with a dispute letter stating why you're disputing this account. It's not yours.
Okay.
And man, you got the backing of the police report. That's pretty heavy. What else are they going to do?
Okay.
So yeah, that's how you handle something like that.
All right. So Maurice is here giving us all these wonderful information about our credit and what the things that do's and the don'ts.
Do's and the don'ts.
Right.
So Healthy.
That was good information. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Healthy credit is so important because it also plays the difference in high interest rates and low interest rates as well.
Right.
And especially in the auto industry, I remember my first car was a 24% interest rate. Like, that was horrible. Suffering from that.
Right. We got a lot of people out there that's suffering from that. So yes. Definitely, credit is definitely the key. And so we have to figure out how we can make sure that everyone is educated on making sure that their credit is in the best, right? So if you have any questions or you need someone to help you with your credit, we've talked about, DIY credit, like how to do it yourselves, but maybe you want somebody to help you. So Maurice Holmes, he's with the
Credit Restore Station.
And so he's available definitely to help you as far as getting your credit into good standard. But if you want to do it yourself first, let's start out with the credit check total and then transfer your stuff over to Experian and and then go to TransUnion and do a dispute there too.
She took some good notes, boy.
Right. Sometimes you need those notes.
Preach again.
All right.
That's the
So,
same
I
thing
wanna-
mine say.
we
I had that written down too.
Right. So we want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, my name is Dion Branch, and I'm with eXp Realty. And with me, I also have Lisa Williams
Oh, she put
White.
all of my names. Okay.
Right, like all out there. Lisa White,
Right.
and she's
I'm
with
one mama with
Right.
Nexus Mortgage.
yes. So, and this recording will be available for you, and you can always ask any questions you want. Maurice is always, he'll be watching. If you have some questions that you want to ask him, you can always ask him in the group, or you can, call him. But sometimes just asking in the group will help other people as
Yeah.
well. So follow us on the Water Cooler Wednesday Facebook group. Thank you guys for joining us. We're so glad that you came out. Thanks. Talk to you later.
Bye.